human behavior. It drives politics, business, relationships, and history itself. Yet most of us struggle to truly understand people, including ourselves. We take actions at face value, misunderstand motives, and get blindsided by emotions, manipulation, or hidden agendas. Robert Greene, the author of the 48 Laws of Power and Mastery, tackles this challenge in his book, The Laws of Human Nature. Greene argues that if we can understand the forces that shape people's behavior, we can navigate life more wisely, build stronger relationships, and protect ourselves from manipulation. Welcome to 10-Minute Books, the channel where we break down the world's most powerful books into practical lessons you can absorb in just 10 minutes. Today, we're exploring The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. The book is structured around timeless laws that reveal why people act the way they do. Let's explore some of the most powerful ones. The Law of Irrationality. Greene begins with the truth that humans are not rational creatures. We think we are guided by logic, but in reality, emotions drive most decisions. Anger, envy, fear, and desire cloud our judgment. Greene warns that unless we learn to see through our emotions, we will act blindly. The key is awareness, stepping back, observing your feelings, and not letting them control your choices. The more you can detach from immediate emotions, the better strategist you become. The Law of Narcissism. Everyone has some degree of self-absorption. We crave attention, validation, and recognition. But unchecked narcissism blinds us to others. Greene advises that instead of fighting narcissism, we should redirect it. Flatter people's egos when needed, show empathy, and use their self-interest to create win-win situations. At the same time, guard against those whose narcissism turns toxic people who exploit others for their own gain. The Law of Role-Playing. Greene points out that people wear masks. We present ourselves differently depending on the situation at work, with friends, with family. Understanding this law means recognizing that appearances often hide deeper motives. Don't take behavior at face value. Look for patterns, slips, or contradictions that reveal the truth. And remember, you too wear masks. The key is to become conscious of them instead of being ruled by them. The Law of Compulsive Behavior. Each person is shaped by habits and repeated patterns from childhood onward. Greene says people repeat behaviors without realizing it, falling into the same conflicts, making the same mistakes. By studying others carefully, you can spot their compulsions. More importantly, by examining yourself, you can break free of destructive patterns. The Law of Covetousness. Desire is contagious. We often want things not because we truly value them, but because others want them. Greene explains that this law fuels envy, rivalry, and endless dissatisfaction. To counter it, learn to evaluate your desires carefully. Ask yourself, do I want this because it has value to me, or because someone else has it? Likewise, you can harness this law by creating demand, making people desire what you have by signaling its value through scarcity or exclusivity. The Law of Short-sightedness. Humans are drawn to immediate rewards. Greene explains that people often sacrifice long-term success for short-term gratification. Leaders and strategists must learn to look beyond the moment, resisting the pull of instant results. History shows that those who win are those who plan decades ahead, while their rivals chase temporary gains. The Law of Defensiveness. Criticism makes people defensive. Greene advises that if you want to influence others, avoid direct confrontation or harsh judgment. Instead, make people feel secure, guide them gently, and let them come to conclusions on their own. Influence works best when it doesn't trigger resistance. The Law of Envy. Greene emphasizes that envy is one of the most powerful hidden emotions. People may never admit it, but they resent those who outshine them. Leaders, entrepreneurs, even friends often face sabotage born of envy. The lesson is twofold. Don't flaunt your success unnecessarily, and learn to detect subtle signs of envy in others. At the same time, channel your own envy into motivation, using it to learn from those you admire instead of resenting them. The law of grandiosity. When people taste success, they often overestimate their abilities. They lose perspective, take reckless risks, and eventually fall. Greene warns us to stay grounded, no matter how much we achieve. True power comes from humility and discipline, not arrogance. The law of gender rigidity. Greene challenges rigid notions of masculinity and femininity. He argues that true mastery comes from integrating both energies, strength with empathy, logic with intuition. Great leaders and creators embrace flexibility, moving beyond stereotypes. The law of aimlessness. Many people drift through life without clear purpose. They chase distractions, follow trends, or live by other people's expectations. Greene stresses the importance of having direction, a calling, or long-term vision. Without it, you become vulnerable to manipulation and wasted effort. The law of death denial. Finally, Greene ends with the law of mortality. Humans repress thoughts of death, but this denial makes us waste time. Masters embrace mortality as a motivator. By remembering that life is finite, you sharpen your focus, cut out trivialities, and live with urgency. Key principles across the laws. Across all these lessons, Greene's core message is awareness. Most people sleepwalk through life, ruled by emotions, habits, and hidden motives. By studying human nature, you wake up, you see patterns in others, protect yourself from manipulation, and influence people more effectively. Greene also stresses self-mastery. Understanding others begins with understanding yourself. Notice your own irrationality, narcissism, and envy. By mastering your inner world, you gain clarity and strength in the outer one. Modern applications. In business, these laws help leaders manage teams, negotiate deals, and spot hidden motives. In relationships, they help you build empathy, avoid toxic dynamics, and strengthen bonds. In personal life, they help you break patterns, resist envy, and live with purpose. History is filled with examples. Greene points to figures like Pericles, Queen Elizabeth I, and Martin Luther King Jr., who mastered human nature to lead effectively. He also warns of those who failed leaders, destroyed by arrogance, envy, or short-sightedness. The big takeaway. The laws of human nature teaches us that people are complex, emotional, and often irrational. If you ignore this, you will be blindsided again and again. But if you study human nature, you gain a map of behavior that allows you to move wisely, influence others, and protect yourself. So the question is, are you willing to look beneath the surface in others and in yourself to truly understand what drives human behavior? That was The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene, broken down in under 15 minutes. Which law do you find most powerful? The law of irrationality, the law of envy, or the law of death denial? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this summary, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to 10-Minute Books, and ring the bell so you never miss our weekly breakdowns of life-changing books. Thanks for watching, and remember, understanding others begins with understanding yourself.